Hello everyone, welcome to Polyglot Academy. In this video, we are going to start a new series, Chinese Grammar Point. So if you are new to this channel, please support us by subscribing to our channel, like our video and share this video to your friends. So let's get started. So in this video, we are going to be looking at a Chinese grammar point, 多少. So for demonstration, we have 多少, which means how many, how much. 多少, how many, how much. Now let's see how we can apply this grammar point. Now 这个, which means this, 这 which is this, and 个 which is a measure word that goes everywhere. 个 is a measure word that goes everywhere. So 这个杯子 here is a cup. 杯子 is cup. 杯子 cup. 非常好。So 多少，这个杯子多少钱。So the full sentence will be 这个杯子多少钱。Now 多少 here we said is how many or how much. Now 钱 is money in Chinese. 钱多少钱 So 这个杯子多少钱 which means how much is this cup. How much is this cup? 这个杯子多少钱？好，继续。We are still on 多少。So we are going to continue with the next example. The same example with how many, 多少. So 你有 which means you. 你 which means you. 有 你有多少？你有多少汉语老师？汉语。So we have the word 汉语. If you discover this character up is a character 五, character for 5, this character. If you take this character alone, it will be the character 五, which is a character for 5. So if you look at that, you will see clearly. So 你有多少？汉语 is Chinese language. 汉语 is Chinese language. So 你有多少汉语老师？ So 老师。你有多少汉语老师？你有多少汉语老师？ So how many Chinese teachers do you have? So 多少 here is how many. 好，继续。So we have 你有多少汉语老师？非常好。 How tissue? How many Chinese teachers? Now, in this case,多少 means how many. 多少 means how many. But in the previous case, 多少 means how much, because we're talking about money. So, how tissue? Okay. Now the next one. 你们 你 which is you. 你们 now 们 which is a plural marker. 你们 which means you guys. You plural. So 你们 你 itself means you, and 你们 is you plural. 学 which is to study. 学校你们学校学校也 means school. 学校非常好。你们学校有 which is the verb to have. So 你们学校有多少你们学校有多少个学生？你们学校有多少学生？你们学校有多少个学生？学生 means this is the character to study with this character. So we have the character to study with this character. So 你们学校有多少个学生？你们学校有多少个学生？ So how many students? So this one is how many? 多少 How many students? 学生 student 学生 So 你们学校有多少个学生？ So how many students do you have in your school? This is the word for school. 学校 school. So we have the word for school, which is 学校 So 你们学校有多少个学生？好，继续。How many students do you have in your school? 非常好。So let's move on. The next one, we're going to have, or we're having 你有 你 which means you, 有 is a verb to have. 你有多少个？你有多少个？你有多少个老师？你有多少个老师？ How many teachers? 老师 means teacher. 老师 So this is the character for 老师 So how many teachers do you have? 你有多少个老师？ How many teachers do you have? Now the previous one was how many Chinese teachers do you have? So I did not explain 老师 which is teacher, and Hanyu is Chinese. So people will get confused that Zhongwen is still Chinese, Zhongwen is Chinese, Hanyu is Chinese. So 你们多少汉语老师？你们多少汉语老师？ How many Chinese teachers do you have? Now in this case, we have how many teachers do you have? Thus, 你有多少个老师？非常好。So, the next thing we are going to see here is how many with T. How many with T? So this is how you write T, which is a number less than 10. Asking how many with less than 10. The quantity should be less than 10. That's why you use T. It means you expect that the quantity should be less than 10. Should be less than 10. So 你有几个杯子 for demonstration. 你有几个杯子？你有几个杯子？你有几个杯子？ How many cups do you have? Now, we are expecting that the number should be less than 10. 你有几个杯子？ We expect that the number of cups should be less than 10. So that's why we use 几。你有几个杯子？非常好。Now the next one. 你家有几口人？ Now 你家有几口人？你家有几口人？你家有几口人？你家有几口人？ How many people are there in your family? Let's break these characters down. Now, 口人 people, 人 means person, people. Now, 口 which means a mouth. This is a mouth, your mouth. So, 几口 now, but in this case, it's acting as a measure word. 几口人 Now, there's one thing I did not explain yet that I did not explain in this sentence, and I'm going to do that. Now, let me finish with this one. How many people now? How many? Yeah, in this case, we believe that the number of people in your family should be less than 10. So, 你家有几口人？人 here is people or person. 口 is your mouth, is the mouth. But in this case, is acting as a measure word. A measure word supporting 几口人。Now, 有 is the verb to have. Now, and then we have 家, which is family, a house. Family, a house. So this 家, like 大家好. So hello everyone, that is a very big family. 家, which is house or family. So 你家, your family, your home. So when they talk about your family, they're talking about your home. So 你家有几口人？你家有几口人？非常好。So we know that 口 means mouth. And yeah, it does not mean mouth. It's acting as a measure word to support 几. Now, when we use 几 on the contrary to 多少 when we use T on the contrary to 多少, if you use 多少, you don't necessarily have to put a measure word. If you use 多少, you must not, it's not necessary for you to put a measure word. But if you use T, it is necessary and it's a must for you to put a measure word before the object. You must put a measure word before the word coming in front. So, for example, 你有几个杯子? How many cups do you have? 你有几个? Less than 10, and we must put a measure word. 个, which is a measure word for cups. A measure word that goes everywhere, not actually the measure word for cups, but is a measure word that can go anywhere. So call here is a measure word that we have used to connect the family with T. Now, for demonstration, you discover that here we use 你有多少个老师? 你有多少个老师? We can still omit this g and the sentence will be fine. 你有多少老师? 你有多少老师? How many teachers do you have? 你有多少老师? So, we can omit, when we use 多少, we can omit that. For example, in this case, we used it here, but in this case, we did not use it. 你有多少汉语老师? How many Chinese teachers do you have? 你有多少汉语老师? 非常好。好，继续 let's move ahead. So, how many cups do you have? Cups are less than 10. 你家有几个人? How many people are there in your family? 好，非常好。Now, we want to see a grammar point with that. I want to see a grammar point with that, which is S apostrophe or apostrophic S. So, let's move on. So we have yeah, that which is she. So we can write it down here, or we can write up. We can write it here. 他不是 So we can have something. 他不是 is not. 不是 pu, which is a negation of the verb to be, is not. In English, they will say is not. In Chinese, we will say not is. So, 它不是我的，它不是我的，我的，它不是我的。同学，很好，很好，很好，很好。他不是我的同学，很好。So, she is not my classmate. 她不是，她 here is she. She. 不是 means is not. 不是我的 my 我的。This is the Chinese word for my 我的同学 classmate, somebody we study together. So 他不是我的同学，他不是我的同学。So she is not my classmate. 他是我的朋友。Now, there was a typing error here. 他 according to the English translation, there was a typing error here. So, this we are going to continue with this ta. This ta here means he. We had a typing error here, so ta shi,我的，他是我的。So excuse， 他是我的朋友，which is a friend. So 他不是我的同学。Now 他 which means she， 不是 which is not. 我的 the whole statement 我的 means my, and 同学 which means a classmate. 同 which means somebody will study, because 学 means is the word to study, and 同 is somebody which I studied with, is a classmate. So she is not my classmate, she is my friend. So she, this is the she yet, not this one. This one is he, he. So 他是我的朋友，朋友 here is 朋友 is friend. 他是 she is my friend, she is my friend. 他是我的朋友，他是我的朋友，非常好，很好，很好。好，继续。So we are still applying the grammar point that. Now in this so in this phrase, we're going to see that je, which is for demonstration, we have je是我的同学，这是我的同学，所以我的。这是我的同学。这是这 which means this， 是 which is the verb to be， 我的 which is my， 我的 which is my 同学 somebody we study together, so classmate。这是我的同学 this is my classmate。这是我的同学 this is my classmate。好，继续，很好。他是我的老师，他是我的，他是我的，他是我的老师。My teacher. 他是他 which is he. 是 which is a verb to be. 他是我的老师。老师 means teacher, professor, sir, teacher, sir. 他是我的老师。非常好，他是我的老师 ，is my teacher。很好，很好。So we have this phrase 大 which is 他是 he is 李月他是李月So we have 他是李月的So I always take my time to write the Chinese character because I really want to emphasize on the Chinese characters. They are very important when you speak Chinese language and you know the Chinese characters. You can interact with anybody, so and you can read any text of your choice. So the reason why I always write the Chinese character, not because I just want to write the character, but is to give you a good feeling on how to interact with the Chinese characters. So 他是李月的老师他是李月的老师他是李月的老师 So he is 李月's teacher He is 李月's teacher So 他是李月的老师他是李月的老师 He is 李月's teacher 好继续很好 So we have seen the grammar point da, which is like adding an apostrophic s. Yes, so and then we have seen words that we need to recall, like words like 同学 which is classmate, 同 which is somebody you studied together. That's somebody you are together and you are with the studying partner. So it's a classmate. 同学这是 I will repeat the pronunciations again so that we fully grab it. So we have 他是李月的 this goes together. This goes 李月的他是李月的it goes together. You don't read it as 李月 and then you drop and say the no, or you read it 他是李月的老师 no 他是李月的老师 so it's like it connected so 李月的老师 you don't break 他是李月的老师 he is 李月's teacher 他是李月的老师非常好 and then for this case we have 他是我的老师 is my teacher and it's like I did not give the translation of this one in the first video so 他是我的老师 He's my teacher 他是我的老师非常好很好 so the next one we're going to have 这是我的同学 This is 这 which is this and then she which is the verb to be she is the verb to be so 这是我的同学 that's for your review 这是我的同学 so 同学 we've been seeing the character 同学 means a classmate somebody with whom you study together 同学 and for this case we have 他不是 is not 他不是 she is not 我的同学他不是我的同学 she is not my classmate 不是 is not in Chinese we do the reverse 他不是 so 不是 is not you can see it for yourself. Here is not, but here it is not is. So we read it like this: is not. So 它不是我的，我的 here is mine, and it is not, because we have uses of this grammar point. You have the, which can indicate an apostrophe s, or we have the, which can indicate a possession, my. So we have 他不是我的同学，很好，很好。同学 here we've seen it, which means classmate, somebody with whom you study together. So 他是我的朋友。So 他不是我的同学 she is not my classmate. 他是我的朋友 and she is my friend. And the she is not this character. Sorry, the she is not this character. This is the character for she. It's a typing error. So this is the character for she. So 他是我的朋友。朋友 is a friend. 朋友is a friend. Now the pong is somebody you work together. People who are the same, they work together. Yes, if I'm a friend with you, it means we are the same, and we go to the same places together. So 朋友 pong, that's why we have this character the same. 朋友很好，很好。And in this case, we were talking about 几, which means how many in English. 几, which means how many in English. And it's talking about a quantity which is less than 10. A quantity which is less than 10. 几, a quantity less than 10. So, 你家有几口人? 你, which is you, 家 is a big family or a family or a house. 家 here means a house and also means a family. So 你家有几口人? This 口 is acting as a measure word. This 口 is acting as a measure word. But 口 by itself, 口 by itself is mouth, the mouth. But in this case, it's acting as a measure word. So 你家有几口人？你家有几口人？好，很好。How many people are there in your family? 你家有几口人？ How many people are there in your family? 很好。So for the next case, we have this sentence, this phrase, we have 你有 有 here is the verb to have. 有 is the verb to have. 你有几个杯子？几 which is how many. 你有几个杯子？杯子 here is a cup. 杯子 is a cup. It's a cup. 杯子 which means a cup. So how many cups do you have? We suggest that the cup should be less than 10. Should be less than 10. We suggest that the cup should be less than 10. So 你有几个杯子? How many cups do you have? 好，继续。Now, in this case, we have 你有多少个老师? So, 你有多少个老师? 你 which is you, 有 which is the verb to have, 多少 how many. Then you can omit this measure word. You can put the measure word just like you can omit the measure word. For example, if I omit the measure word, I'll have 你有多少老师? 你有多少老师? How many teachers do you have? 你有多少老师? But if I put the measure word, I'll have 你有多少个老师？你有多少个老师？非常好，好，很好。How many teachers do you have? 很好。Here we have 你们，你们。你们，你 which is you and 你们 is you plural, you guys, you plural. 学校，学校，学校 here is a school. 你们学校 is a school. 有 the verb to have. 多少 how many or how much. But in this case it is how many. 你们学校有多少个 So you can omit the measure word or you can go with the measure word. 学生 which is student. 学生你们学校有多少个学生 How many students do you have in your school? So I emphasize on the pronunciation because in this lesson we are doing a pro Chinese, advanced Chinese, where we don't have pinyin, we don't have the pronunciation anymore. So, but I'm still trying my best to give each pronunciation and repeat the pronunciation several times so that you fully get the sounds of each character. How many students do you have in your school? 你们学校有多少个学生？很好，很好。Now for this case, we have this 你们，你 你 which is you, 你有 which is the verb to have, 多少，你有多少 you discover that g has been omitted. G has been omitted. G here has been omitted. So 你有多少汉语 Hanyu, I told you, is another way of saying Chinese language. Hanyu is another way of saying Chinese language. So 你有多少汉语老师 Hanyu 老师 Chinese teacher 汉语老师你有多少汉语老师 How many Chinese teachers do you have? 你有多少汉语老师非常好你有多少汉语老师 Now we have the very first sentence we saw. We have 这 which means this. 这个杯子多少钱？这个杯子多少钱？多少钱 means how much. 多少 how much. 多少钱 how much money. Not how many money. So how many cannot go. How much money. 多少钱？这个杯子 here is a cup. 这个杯子多少钱？非常好，多少钱 So how much is this cup? 好 So this was the end of our video. If you found this video useful, please support us by subscribing to our channel. Give a thumbs up to this video. Share these videos to your friends and family. Now, for more information about Chinese language, French, and English, please visit our website my.woki.net/language tutor. I'm going to leave a link in the description where you can click and it will take you to our web page where you can book for your Chinese courses, English and French online, and a tutor will be there to guide you. So see you in the next Chinese grammar lesson. 再见。